Hello. Oh, I forgot. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I forgot I'm supposed to be using this instead of that. Because this one keeps getting... Every time I get a phone call or something, it disrupts the stream. But not going to be here that long today anyway. We're just doing an early stream to see who's available. Walker fam stopped by. Shin's here. Gordy's here. What's up, guys? Uh, so what's going on, everybody? I forgot. Uh, who's at work right now? Steve-O, I know it's 5:30 for you. Trying to figure out who might be available during the day. What's going on, Two Real Geeks? I'm trying to figure out who's stopping by during the day. You know me, I like to play with everything on YouTube. That's why I keep posting different videos. They don't seem to make sense. They don't seem to match up with anything. I am always trying to figure out what's the best time to release a video, what people are looking for, and as far as live streams are concerned, because I'm going to get back to doing 5 or 6 a week to help you guys grow and to keep in contact, especially with what's going on uh, with the coronavirus. I'm going to be playing with times. Some days I'm going to go early like this, other days I'm going to go later in the evening. I might do some night stuff. I just want to try and encompass everybody's needs. So, Steve-O's working night shifts. No work from me today. Rob's at work though. Slight buffering on my part, but I think that's because I'm uploading too. Yeah, because I've got it on the laptop as well. I don't think I'm buffering. But if you're trying to upload at the same time, yeah, it'll do that. Starting up my own business, so usually available during the day. What kind of work are you going to be doing, Shin? I have learned it doesn't matter what time you go, you always have someone. Yeah, if I do like a midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning stream, which is my time, obviously, I tend to get some morning people from England, Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand's even farther ahead. I get a few, but the thing is that if I go different times of the day, like if I go at 2 o'clock, I might get 12 people simultaneously. Whereas if I go at 6 o'clock, I get anywhere from 18 to 30 simultaneously. If I go at midnight, I get 6 or 7. So I want to test different times during the day to see when more people are available at the same time. Because if I can't do that and get people in, then they won't know about you and they won't go check you out. Um, so it's not a matter of will anyone show up. It's a matter of what's the best time period across the world, because we're worldwide. We got people in California, like, they're 3 hours behind. It's only 9:30 in the morning for them. And then you guys in England and Scotland, it's 5:30 in the afternoon for you. Um, so it's about trying to figure out the best times for everybody. AJC, my Disney friend, is here. What's going on? Um, I don't, you, Gordy, Steve-O, you put up another video about the Angel Blade, and this time in the thumbnail, you erased her, you blacked her out. So I'm not sure if that was your latest video, or if that was something that popped up. I watched your other video. I think I made a comment too. I try to keep up with just about everything you put out. But if you put one out in the last 48 hours, no. And I know I didn't watch the second Angel Blade video because you blacked her out, and I remember seeing it. I just didn't look at it. Just didn't watch it yet. Sue me. Sue me. Unsubscribe. Get out. Just kidding. Oh, that's part of what I'm going to talk about here today, Sarah. How I'm doing, what's going on. Hey, Lori's here. See, during the day earlier, Lori can stop by more often. Two Real Geeks is at work. They're out of Atlanta. Laura's here. That girl is live herself, like 18 hours a day. I'm surprised she has time to say hello. It's to see you. When are you coming to America? When are you going to be a part-time American? Well, hopefully not now with all that's going on. Everybody stay off of airplanes. Just don't do it. That's all I got to say about that for the moment. Bev's here. What's going on? Uh, traveling Shin to us. Did I miss it when you said what kind of work, what kind of business you starting up, buddy? Is it mail order? I'll buy a male from you. Or a female. You gonna work on cars? What are you gonna do? Alright, let me back it up and see if I can find it. Sorry. Walker fam's here. What's up, Walker fam? Uh, Beeswax candles. Hey, I've been watching videos on that lately. And yes, I know. Before you yell at me, Steve-O, I watched some beeswax videos, beeswax candle making. I didn't watch your angel blade, but I promise I'll get to it. But I've been watching videos on that lately. Handmade candles and how they use those little tiny tools and how they scrape out designs and then twirl them down. And they make these things look freaking awesome, man. Different colors. Now, in my defense, I don't know if those are beeswax. I was watching some videos the other day on beekeepers and how they extract wax from the beehives. Or honey, I guess it's honey from there. I don't know. I've been watching candle videos. So hopefully you're going to make candle videos. Because I watch those. 2 days a week off. Now, look, she's got a schedule, Laura. Nope, I have 2 days a week off now. It won't be for a few months yet, 3 or 4 months by the time we get everything sorted. Right on. No, you got to get that passport. Where do I stay in my van? Usually in this seat right here, because I have my desk, or back there in the bed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm at a friend's house, and until next month when I start cutting grass every day again, I'm kind of staying here. I pay some rent here. I've been working on her car, doing different stuff, but it's a safe place I can be. I've got electricity, and I thought I had water. I do have water. Don't get me wrong. And that's why I was sick. But I'm in Florida. I am about 10 miles outside of Tampa. Only about 5 miles outside of Tampa city limits. So it's hot. It's going to be 86 today, I think. And it's going to be hot all week. Pam's here. What's going on? Haven't gotten that fancy yet with all those tools. The one lady I was watching, Shin, she had one tool, and it looked like a potato peeler. And see, it's this new phone. Every time a phone call comes in or something, it disrupts the stream, and I don't know how to stop it. I've turned off notifications, I've turned off the phone, done all kinds of crap. So from now on, I got to start using the other phone. But she had a tool that looked like a potato peeler, and two of them, one was skinnier and one was a little bit wider, and she just shaved them down and rolled them up, and she was dipping stuff in buckets. We have candle makers here. I live, most of the time I live right at the beach, and there's all kinds of candle shops on the beach, people making candles, and they show you, they let you watch them and they do it. It's pretty cool. And I have no idea how I got onto that subject the other night. I was cruising around looking for stuff, and I came across this candle making, and I ended up watching like 4 videos. Because I watch everything. I'm looking over there, and I'm looking over here. Orlando Worlds, what's going on? Yeah, now that I'm out of the hospital, I'm feeling a little bit better. Long story short, I'm staying at a friend's house. Not staying in the house. I, of course, mobile studio, and I like to stay out of the way of everything. So, while I have access to the kitchen to cook, shower, of course, I like to keep everything self-contained. And I'm actually going to move the camera here for just a second. That right there is the floor. Yes, that's number 8, but I already took the other ones off, so you don't know the address. Right there's a hose. You can see that. That's the that's the carport, and obviously this is where I'm parked. I'm out of the way. Uh, I'm off to the side. She had problems with kids in the neighborhood breaking into her car, stealing things off her carport, as did other people. So the neighbors actually like the fact that I'm here. I'm stationed here, and most of the time I'm awake all night. So I've actually had someone open my back door while I was sleeping, I guess in an attempt to break in. Um, but anyway, it kind of works out that I'm here. And that hose that I just showed you is literally at the front door next to the carport. You can see that. So that's where I've been getting my water from. And that way I don't go in and out of the house. I have a key to the house so I can access the computer, take a shower, whatever the case may be. Um, but that's where I tend to get my water from. I'm not a fancy guy. I'm not a bottled water kind of guy. I've got 8 gallons of water on board, and for cooking, anything like that, because I cook in the van, I get my water from there. Well, I've been doing that for about 2 months, and I've been getting more and more ill. Those people that know me on Twitter know that on a daily basis, um, you kind of start not feeling good. You try to figure it out in your head. I started getting lightheaded to the point where I was passing out, falling over. Um, a lot of it had to do with not eating, of course, because I don't have much income. I do surveys online for money, and some days I just don't get to eat. Well, it got real bad, and I went to the hospital. And long story short, that hose that you see right there is actually not connected to city water like the rest of the house and every house in every state. It's actually connected to the city's reclaimed water system. And right behind this unit is the city's reclaimed water tanks and all that. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it means that that water comes from the general area. There's a creek right over there, a little running stream, and when it rains, all that water goes into a reservoir. It's sucked up into those tanks. It's given a pressure clean to get like debris out of it, but it's mainly used to water your lawns. It's almost like untreated well water or sprinkler water when you might stick a hose in a pond and pull water out of the pond to water your lawns. That's reclaimed water. It's gray water. It's not marked. It's attached to the house. There was no way for anyone to know that, but I was poisoning myself drinking that water. Um, so now the plan was to pull the specs on the house and find out why it's an unmarked tab that's connected to the house, why no one in the neighborhood knows that all of their tabs are connected to gray water, who's been ingesting it, what's going on. And now with the coronavirus, of course, the country's got enough problems, the state's got enough problems. I'm alive. It's going to take several weeks for anything that I've ingested to be cleaned out of my system. I'm supposed to be taking medication, which I can't afford, so I'm not. But I am alive. I went to the hospital. I was there for 2 days, basically. And it wasn't anyone's fault. And the real reason I found out about it is because my friend, whose apartment this is, it's a duplex, so there's 2 units connected. It's not an apartment complex, but she was kind of aware of it, but she was going through her water bill and finding out that her reclaimed water bill had gone higher than normal, and that's when 2 and 2 went together and went, wait a minute, that's reclaimed water. Do you understand what that is? And she didn't know what it was, and she kind of had an idea. Well, that's what it was. I was poisoning myself with untreated water. And I'm in the middle of a city. I mean, I'm not out in the woods in the mountains somewhere in a tainted well. This is a maintained spigot attached to the property by the city. So I was down and out for a while. That's why my live stream started to slow down and stop. That's why I haven't been on for the last couple of weeks. Um, and of course, we have severe temperature changes. Last night it was 50 something, so I was cold. Today it's 80 something, so I'm sweating. Uh, there's just been a lot going on, and I've been trying each day to go live again. I want to go live. I want to help you guys out. Um, but my health just hasn't allowed me to do it. So that's the story of why I was in the hospital, what happened, what's going on. I know that I've been talking and I missed most of what y'all have been typing, so let me back this up a little bit. Pam's here. What's going on? Sarah and Rob will be here in 27 days. 27 days. I tell everybody else, don't travel during this, but you guys have been waiting for this all year long. I'm trying to get my mouse together so I can go through the chat here. Oh, who's worried about this C virus? I woke up yesterday morning, and we had 2 cases here 5 miles from my house. And a couple more people passed away here in America. So it's covering up the angels, so people need to watch it. No, that's a good idea, Steve-O. If you're still here, I understand why you covered it up, but my point was I wasn't sure if you went and changed the thumbnail. So it was the same video that I'd already seen and you just changed the thumbnail, or if you actually made another video about the same thing. And either way, honestly, I wasn't feeling too well, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just watch it later because I probably already saw it. So it's a good idea to hide stuff and to move stuff around in your thumbnails. Absolutely. Whatever gets people to go. And it drives me crazy because I'll watch something and I'll see a thumbnail and it'll say, I went to a haunted house and this happened, but you can't see anything. Or when you highlight it, because I'm on a laptop, so when I highlight it with the cursor, most of the time I get a preview of what's going on. But then I get a bogus preview, and I'm like, dang it, now I have to click on it and watch it just to see what it was, what happened, So thumbnails, I agree, play around with them. Doc Obvious, what's going on, buddy? I'm glad you stopped by. You're probably gone already, I see that, but thanks for coming in. Afternoon to all. Pam is, and she's going to get fired if her boss is fired. Watching YouTube videos of retards. For those of you that saw the thumbnail of this, that is a picture that was drawn of me by Kira, Black Voltaic. She changed her name, and I feel like crap now because I can't remember it. But she decided to take a picture of me. She took a still shot from one of my videos and hand drew that picture. And it's pretty amazing. So I kept it, and I was like, hey, what am I going to use for my thumbnail? So that's what it is. That is a hand drawing by someone who comes into the streams once in a while and who is a friend on Twitter. She lives in Scotland. She's 17, almost 18. So pretty cool. 27 days, Laura. Yep, and money. Yeah, money's always helpful, Laura, when traveling. Campgrounds are very expensive, Bev, if you're still here. They average down here in Florida $40 plus a night to stay in a campground. And most days I don't have enough money to eat. And before anybody asks, yes, I do smoke. I smoke about a half a pack a day, and these cost $1.39 a pack. So I smoke about 60 a day. Most of the time I eat ramen noodles, one ramen noodle a day, and some days I don't even have that. Doing surveys is great. I make 60 to 70 cents an hour. And I do them online, I do them from my phone, I do them from my laptop, and that usually puts gas in the car. It usually keeps me going until I can start cutting grass, which is, with the way the weather is now, hopefully I get to start early. And then I'm back on top. The bottom line is I ran out of money a couple of months ago, and until lawn season starts, there's not much I can do. Nobody's spending money fixing their house. Nobody's wanting their houses painted. Our economy's so screwed up right now that just nobody's spending any money. It's the first year in 30 years of working for myself that I haven't been able to work for a few months. And I'm hoping with this coronavirus thing, people are still going to need their lawn cut. Because, then I make 30 bucks an hour. So, um, yeah, campgrounds are, no. I stay here, I watch the house, I keep people from breaking in. I pay rent, I pay $150 a month here. Um, so that I can plug in and take a shower and things like that. And the rest of it is what it is until next month when I get back to work. Speaking of which, there is a link in the description. I don't know if I can paste it here, if it'll go through. There is a link in the description for a PayPal pool. I need 3 pieces of equipment. I need a leaf blower, a weed whacker, and a small lawnmower. And while I do everything that I can every day to do that, anybody that wants to help out, leave $1, it's there. That's all I ever say about it. I hardly ever bring them up. So there you go. The Cobra roll. What's going on, Craig? I saw your messages after I messaged you on Instagram this morning. I saw your message. I don't know if I answered you back or not. Corona. Let's see. Dude, need good clean water. Florida cities use reclaimed water like that. Yeah, but see, federal law says, or state law says that they have to, first of all, they cannot connect the tap to a residence. It must be separated. It can't be in a visible area, and it has to be marked as reclaimed water. None of those. This is actually tapped into the wall at the front door. It is not marked. It does not have different parts. In other words, usually when they use reclaimed water, they use PVC parts. That's a standard hose bib. Goes through the front wall, attached to the house, and unmarked in any way. That's the problem. Nobody knew that it wasn't safe for human consumption. Okay, it was another video made on the same thing. So then I will have to go back, Steve-O, and watch the video. Angie's here. Angie, her husband's in the hospital with a clog in his heart. How's he doing? And Ange has a second channel, The Traveling Gypsy. For those of you that don't know, she is homeless and she lives in a tent in the woods. And she's making videos about it. She's just doing her thing and having a good time. So, ain't no shame in nobody's game. Yeah, it should be marked. It's supposed to be PVC, not copper. It's not supposed to go through the wall and be attached to the house in any way. It's definitely not code. Because of that, I was poisoned. Any kids running around the neighborhood, there's a basketball court right there. Any kids that decide to grab somebody's hose like we did when we were kids, you're outside playing. You don't go all the way home to get a drink. You go to the closest house you're at and take a drink out of their hose. Now, I don't know if kids these days still do that, but if any of the kids were to drink any of that, if she was feeding that to an animal, if she had a dog, feeding it to the animal and the animal got poisoned for some reason, there's just a lot going on. But with the coronavirus thing, I'm not going to try to deal with that with the state of Florida. They got enough stuff going on. At hospital now, it moved into his lung. Whoa. That's not good. Well, I'm glad you popped in. I hope he gets better quick, and I hope they're able to take care of it before something really bad happens. So this coronavirus is in anybody else's backyard. I know Two Real Geeks was here earlier, and he's at work, but he's in Atlanta, and they just got some cases in Atlanta. 2 cases popped up here yesterday in Tampa. Well, one in Tampa, one in Sarasota, which is about 35 miles away. Completely unrelated family. You know, they're not family members. They're not friends. Both of them young, under the age of 55. And I say young because I'm almost 50. But not old, not living in homes. These 2 people do not live in care homes, medical facilities, anything like that. They're just normal people like you and I. One traveled abroad, one did not. So we got that going on. And yesterday, case popped up in New York, and then apparently last night, uh, case popped up in Georgia, which is the next state above Florida. And we went from 2 to 6 deaths in 12 hours. It's been 18 hours now, but the 12 hours of nighttime last night. Beverly, I am okay. I appreciate it. I, I, I got my hands on $10, and I went to Walmart. I actually got my hands on $21, and I went to Walmart. I bought Tylenol. I bought some cold medicine, just in case I do come down with flu symptoms. It was $3, the Walmart brand Robitussin. I bought a bag of cough drops for $1. I bought 5 boxes of ramen noodle. They have 12 packs of ramen noodle in them each, and they're $2 each. So I bought 5 of those. I bought a loaf of bread and a box of macaroni and cheese. So one ramen noodle in the morning, one ramen noodle in the evening. Those boxes will get me through the next month. That's how I live. That's all I can do until I start making money. I have 3 or 4 people that send me a few dollars, $5 here, $10 there, once in a while, and it's very much appreciated. It's how I've been on top of my surveys every day. It's how I've been paying my rent every month. It's how I have been eating. Some days there just isn't enough, but I'm okay. And right now everything is tight for everyone, and I mean everyone. I know it's bad for me, but it's 13 cents a meal. So for 25 cents a day, I can eat and stay alive. That's all I'm worried about right now. I don't like ramen, and it's horrible for you, but it is what it is. If I can get my hand... Well, let me put it this way. I have been cutting grass for 25 years. In the wintertime, I paint a house or two. In the summertime, for about 8 months, I cut grass. I do it for myself. There's a video on this channel of how I get my work, how I make my signs. I don't ever have a problem making money. Last year, I helped too many families and overextended myself and ran out of money. And on top of that, I could not get a house to paint all winter. I don't know if you like Trump or care if you like Trump, but Trump has our economy so screwed up that I cannot even find a house to paint. Nobody has the money. So I've been trying to get through the winter, basically. In another month's time, I will be able to cut grass. The grass will grow and people will need it to be cut. If they do not cut it, the state comes around and puts liens against your homes and fines you. So they may not cut every week like I'm used to, but they will at least cut once a month whether they like it or not, because a $30 bill for me to cut their grass is better than a $300 fine from the city. So in another couple of weeks, when the grass starts growing, I will have regular income. On average, I make almost $2,000 a week, $8,000 a month. Trump or not, I always find lawns to cut. I get regular customers. I don't have an issue with that. But now with the coronavirus, the last thing people are going to have on their mind is having the lawn cut when all hell is breaking loose. So I don't know what's going to happen. I continually put in applications for dishwashing and working at Subway and anything. I'm not proud. There just isn't anything available. I go on Craigslist and look for, somebody hiring for something for the day. Last week I went and helped somebody move. It was crap, it was $5 an hour, but it was $5. So I went and worked for a couple hours. I do what I can do. But enough about that. Let's see. So I'm good, Bev. I appreciate the thought. There is a fundraiser down below, but it is for a piece of equipment. Beg, borrow, or steal, I will get the 3 pieces of equipment I need. I will sell my laptop. I will sell my truck if I have to. I will do the most creative things that you can think of. I will get this equipment. I need 3 pieces of equipment. lawnmower, weed eater, blower. Easy. And I'm back in business. So I've got a month to do that. So I figured, what the heck, I'd put it up there. In the meantime, my health is getting better. Some days are better than others. Some days I wake up and I just feel blah. But the doctor said, as the poisons, it's something to do with all the minerals that I've ingested from the reclaimed water. They're still in my system, zinc and all kinds of stuff that actually poison your body. So, um, you know, some days are better than others. But I'll get back to doing live streams every day. When I'm not live streaming, I'm doing surveys all day. I'm making signs, getting ready for lawn season, helping you guys out on Twitter, posting videos of every kind. Shit. Samantha's Cosmetics, welcome. There's a name we haven't seen before. And before anybody worries too much about it, this has been how my life has been since Halloween. I just don't talk about my personal situation. So while you guys might be hearing this, you're hearing it for the first time because I don't tell anybody my situation. I just go on Twitter and help people every day. I come online and help people. So when I'm doing my networking streams trying to help you guys out, this is the stuff that I've been dealing with for 6-7 months. It's nothing new. So don't panic. I've lived the last 6 months, and in another couple of weeks I'll be able to start working. So everything's gonna be just fine. Yeah, there's a link in the description, Bev. If you look underneath of the video, I put a link in the description for the PayPal for. It says leaf blower. I think it's $97 or $102 I need for the leaf blower. But there's a PayPal open anyway. Yes, but those that help others need help. And I appreciate that thought, traveling Shintoist. And like I said, I have 4 people that send me things that I need from time to time, drop $5 on my PayPal, even though they don't have the money. And I really got upset the last time because the person that sent me she sent me $10. And then I found out that she didn't have cigarettes for the whole week and was eating ramen noodles just like me. And I have no way to block someone from sending me money, so I just tend not to talk about it too often. And I appreciate the fact that happened because I hadn't eaten in like 3 days. But I don't want anybody to put themselves at risk just to send me $5. I will keep going. That's why I don't mention my pools very often. That's why I don't talk about it. I just, when I'm capable, I may be laying in bed feeling like I've been run over by a truck and starving, and I see somebody needs to talk on Twitter, and I'm there. I listen to them. I try and help them feel better. That's just what I do. So enough about me. Stop with the me stuff. This wasn't supposed to be about me. It will change. In a couple of weeks, lawn season will start. We've actually had rain. The last couple of years, we haven't had rain before like April 1st. And without rain, the grass doesn't grow even though it's warm. So last year I couldn't start cutting grass till May, the middle of May. It's actually rained 4 times in the month of February here. And the rain along with the heat is what makes the grass grow. So the grass will start growing here in the next few weeks, and that's why I need to get my hands on the 3 pieces of equipment I do. I've got the trailer, I've got the trailer hitch, I've got the vehicle, I've got my gas cans, my hand tools, I've got all that stuff. I just need 3 tools, and I'm back to work. So no more talking about it, no more thoughts about it. Do you guys have your emergency supplies? See, Pam lives up in New England. I live in Florida. We deal with hurricanes. In New England, they deal with nor'easters. If you live on any of the Great Lakes in this country, those of you in Scotland and England just dealt with that storm that rolled through. We know what it's like to get ready. Tornado season even, in the middle of our country. We know what it's like to get ready. We keep supplies. We have standard supplies. Anybody that's ever lived in a region where you have any type of natural storms, you learn to keep basic supplies. Bug spray if you live in a place where you get bugs, like we're in a tropical area, so we get mosquitoes and things like that. Water, batteries, a flashlight, matches, a lighter, a couple of days worth of food, a couple of days worth of water. Um, the basics, because when a storm rolls through in these areas, we lose power, which means our refrigerators no longer work. Our stoves don't work. You can't cook. You can't heat water. You can't do any of these things. So we keep, in Florida, we call them hurricane supplies. You might call them something else. But here's the situation. I am monitoring what's going on with the C virus pretty much 15 hours a day. I do not just watch any one place, but I also don't discount anyone. Just because I don't agree with our current administration does not mean that I don't watch, um, when they talk to the masses, when they have press releases and press conferences. I read every newspaper, even the ones I don't like. I watch BBC News, I watch international news, I watch CDC, I watch the World Health Organization. I watch everything because I don't want to just listen to one person's take on this. There's a couple of things that everybody has in common. One, this thing is spreading. And two, you need to be prepared. And if you don't live in a place where you get storms like we do or natural situations, you may not think about these things. Disney Boffins, what's up? So you need to have some basic supplies. It's always good to have a first aid kit, no matter what. It's always good to have a first aid kit. Just a basic kit. You don't need some big fancy kit. You need just a few basic items in there. You need to have a way to start fire. If you have a barbecue grill that runs on propane, that's wonderful. If you don't have a propane grill, then hopefully you know how to start a fire. Yes, diapers, formula if you have little ones, baby food. Because here's the situation. Supposedly China has things under control for the last 48 hours. They have now been surpassed with the most amount of cases and the most amount of deaths. But they claim to have it on under control. Here's the reason why. China has been on lockdown. The city of Wuhan has been on lockdown now. Everyone has been imprisoned or quarantined in their homes. Government officials have gone out and put big speakers at the corners at the end of streets so that they could talk to the people without ever having to enter the city. You're not allowed to leave your home. There's no open stores. There's nothing. They can't leave. And if you go on YouTube, you'll see people that are making videos because they're so bored. They're like, how do we make a video on killing time? These people have been locked in their own homes for a long time now. I don't know about Europe, but I can tell you that Americans are so overprivileged that there's no way in hell they could put a quarantine on Americans and they would follow it. So we're going to have an issue in America. I watched Boris Johnson this morning address England. And whether you like the man or not, and I'm not talking about his politics, he was very clear, very concise. I enjoyed what he had to say. It was very informative. So I watch everything. You need to have some basics in your house. You can't get hand sanitizer for love of money in my local supermarket. Okay. I'm going to try and keep up with these things as best you can. You realize that hand sanitizer is a gel that is alcohol based. If you want hand sanitizer and you cannot get it, in Europe, I'm sure you have discount stores. Over here, we have dollar stores, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, places like that. Dollar Tree, everything's $1, $1. We have Walmarts, we have CVS, we have all kinds of things, and there's things that people is go and get yourself a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. It comes in two forms, 71 and 85%. That's all hand sanitizer is. If you're worrying about getting hand sanitizer, wash your hands very well. Make sure you use hot water. Make sure you wash them for at least 30 seconds. Get all up in the cracks and crevices in between the fingers. But if you really are worried about it, you can get your hands on a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. It's the same thing. You can. There's videos on YouTube on how to mix it with other things. You can make it last longer. I don't suggest opening the cap and just pouring it on your hands. You're going to waste a lot of it. But you can pour some into a small bowl, which I thought I had here. You can pour some in a small bowl, and you can use a paper towel. You can dip a baby wipe in there, get it wet, wring it out, and then wipe your hands off with the isopropyl alcohol. That is what hand sanitizer's base is. It will kill any germs on your hands and evaporate within a few seconds. So if you want to get your hands on some sort of hand sanitizer, that's what you're looking for. You've been buying food, diapers, yeah, because you have little ones. Wipes have been cleaned out. Yes, they're and it's happening all over for the last 48 hours as people are getting ready. You may have to get creative on where to get baby wipes, but remember, don't quote me on this, but it wasn't until the 50s or 60s that baby wipes even existed. So again, take a damp cloth, wipe the baby down, get yourself some powder. I know that you don't get talcum powder anymore. It's cornstarch. I happen to have a container right over there to keep the baby dry, but you can, you might have to wash the baby's butt every time. Get a little bit of baby shampoo or a little bit of even Joy dish detergent is acceptable to use on a child. Mix a drop into a larger container, shake it up. You might have to wash the baby every time, but you can live without wet wipes. Wet wipes are great when you can get your hands on them, but they're not life and death. Speaking of Amazon, I received something this morning from Amazon. Long story short, I have a 20-pound propane tank, but for my propane stove and the other things that I have, I use the small 1-pound bottles. I needed a way to transfer the propane from the big barbecue tank to the small tanks. So yesterday, someone sent me the connection to connect the large tank to the small tank. And it came, they got it from Amazon. It was like, shit. Sorry, I was trying to switch. And it came by Amazon. And that's why I posted the tweets that I did earlier today, because and it only took like 18 hours, I think. They ordered it yesterday at noon, and it was here by 8 o'clock this morning. I have no idea what warehouse it came from. All I know is it was ordered from Amazon. Somebody in the warehouse pulled it. Somebody shipped it. The airlines grabbed it. The truck driver grabbed it. How many people along that chain touched it could actually have the coronavirus and not know it? I'm not saying that anyone has it and they're going, oh, I want to make as many people sick as possible. You don't know it. And now they're talking about the gestation or incubation period of this virus could be up to 6 weeks. You could have it and be contagious for up to 6 weeks before you ever start showing symptoms. So the cases are just going to start flooding in. In the United States, we don't have anything until a few days ago. That's because they only administered 5,000 tests, and most of those were tainted. So the information that came back on those was untrustworthy. It's not that our government says we're the best country and there's no way we're going to have the epidemic like everybody else. That's just bullshit, because they didn't test anybody. The day before, on Sunday in England, they administered 7,000 tests on Sunday through drive-thrus and found 20 cases and pulled those 20 people off the streets. And we haven't even done 5,000 in our entire country since this started. They did 7,000 in one day. So this is community transmitted. It is all over the place. People just don't know about it. And in our country, we can't take off of work when we're sick. We got to go to work. We'll get fired. We'll lose our job. We don't have benefits. We don't have paid leave. So this is something that's going to get worse, way worse. And it's going to hit very fast because in the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, no one's been tested for it, so they haven't pulled anyone off the streets and quarantined them. They've all been out spreading it. And if you think about that, every time you go to the convenience store and you pick up a bag of chips and you, well, no, that's not the flavor I want, I'll take that one. Well, you just touch that. Then 10 people come in behind you, somebody's going to pick that up. Every time you hand over your debit card to pay for something, you know what I mean? All these things. It's just the way it goes. It's not going to be the end of the world. Don't panic. 98% of the people that catch it are going to live. They actually get better very quickly. It's not life-threatening to 98%, but it's something that we all have to be aware of. It's crazy, and they said that the mask won't be until after March. I have a theory about all the masks, and I'll talk about that in a second. It isn't just Amazon or online stores. The big stores have products made from China. That is very true. And even though China has stopped shipping for a month now, we do not have ships coming into our ports from China, at least in the United States. I don't know about other countries. We still have products coming in that are being shipped. People didn't know about tainted products, the boxes, the packages themselves, the people in the warehouse that make them, people in the manufacturers, whether it's food, whether it's anything. It's already here. It's already in your country, wherever you're watching me from. It's already there. You can't expect that it's not going to affect you. But it's up to politicians to try to downplay the situation while they try to work to fix the situation so that we don't panic. Any civilization is only 3 meals away from anarchy. As the stores start to go empty and we can't get the products being shipped in and you can't stop at a store, you have to remember that during most of your lives, anybody watching this, you've lived a very privileged life. We used to say that there's a store on every corner. Well, that's not true, because now there's a store on every corner, and every single building between every corner. There's stores everywhere. We are so used to saying, I feel like getting this, and then going and getting it. Stopping 6 times when you're out running around, doing errands, doing your thing, shopping. We have shopping days. It doesn't matter whether this is going to disrupt your life. This is reality. And you can't talk the virus out of doing what it's doing. You can't say, well, you're disrupting many people's lives, and the virus goes, okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. The virus doesn't care. It doesn't have a brain. It does what it does, and you can't talk it out of it. So going to the stores, going to work, all these things, the chances are you're going to be exposed to this. And for them to say that it won't affect everyone. Picture yourself standing next to like a bonfire. When the smoke is coming off the bonfire, does it pick and choose who it touches, or does it cover everyone? We are in the midst of a virus no one knows anything about. And by the way, it's not the flu. Go to my second channel and watch yesterday's World Health Organization announcement. This is not the flu. It is not an influenza. This is a unique strain of virus we know nothing about, but except it's highly contagious. Highly. We don't know how to stop it. We don't know how to slow it down. We don't know anything about it. So, not going to work, not going to the store, all those things are not going to save you. I don't know if this thing's airborne. I don't know if it's touch base. Nobody knows. There are things you can do to protect yourself, obviously. Maybe not shake hands, maybe not kiss strangers, go out on a date and start making out with somebody you never met before. You don't know. But 98% of the people that get this are going to live. It's not going to be any worse than having regular flu symptoms. Fever, I'm hot, maybe I'm having trouble breathing, some respiratory infection. Um, it's not the end of the world. I am a believer in masks. But before you take that and misunderstand what I'm telling you, there's, a, there's one simple reason for it. Unless you're wearing an N95 or P95 mask and it's fitted properly, and they have to be form fitted for you. Anybody who's ever been to the hospital knows. My husband, my wife, my friends, and then they have to form fit you for this and show you how to use it. Completely understandable. Anything that you buy, any cotton masks, any paper masks, anything that you buy anywhere else is not going to be effective in stopping you from getting the coronavirus. It's not. You wipe your face, you adjust the mask, you wipe some sweat, you got an itch, whatever the case may be after you touch something. It's not going to stop you. But here's why I am for masks. Go out in public. Well, don't go out in public today. Watch some YouTube videos. Normally I'd say go out in public and do this. I watch people. I'm a people watcher. You know how many times I've just stood in, this is going to sound creepy, but don't take it the wrong way, in a Walmart bathroom. And I'm not talking about standing there looking at the stalls and going, oh, that guy's got some cool shoes. It's not like that. But I stand at the entrance by the garbage can and just act like I'm on my phone to watch how many people finish doing the bathroom and then walk right out of the bathroom and never wash their hands. It's an exercise in learning how humanity thinks. That's why I've done this in the past. It's not like I go, hey, I've got a Saturday afternoon off, I think I'll go to the bathroom. It's not like that. But I have done this. People, if you just stand in the store, any store you want, I don't care if it's a convenience store, a gas station, I don't care if it's a department store, stand around the store and watch how many, not just kids, but how many adults actually cough or sneeze and never even bother to cover their mouth. If you've ever watched, and you can Google this as soon as you leave, you can Google, you can YouTube, watch a video, slow motion sneeze, slow motion cough, and see the amount of spit and sputum that just explodes from the human body. It's almost microscopic and it's so fast you can't see it, but watch a slow-mo of it. It looks like someone turned on a garden hose. A mask will not protect you from getting the coronavirus, but what it will do is two things. First of all, it will have your mouth covered when you sneeze, instead of getting there too late after it's already done, or only covering half of it and having the stuff spray out. It's to stop you from projectiling out across everything. And most of us, we know a sneeze is coming. We're, watch a slow motion sneeze, and your hand is here, and you sneeze so quickly that your head actually moves like that. And when it does, the stuff goes above and around your hands. That's why I'm for masks. Any kind of mask. I don't care if it's this. And I made a video on my second channel as a dust mask, and I said many times this is not to protect you from the coronavirus, but the idea is cover your damn face. Because when you sneeze, and I promise you, if you haven't seen one yet, go and watch a video, slow motion, where they slow motion capture someone sneezing and just the sputum that comes out. And it literally goes a foot and a half away from the person's face. What's up, wizard? So I'm all for masks. That reason. And the other reason is the one reason I'm for that I believe all government agencies are against masks for. And that is, it's a visual aid. You look at a picture of China, go Google China and see that everyone walking up and down the street are wearing masks. Normally I walk around up until a few months ago, and I see all these people in the casinos, and they're wearing masks, and I don't like the smoke. You're an idiot. It's not going to stop smoke. It's cloth. It's paper. It's not going to stop smoke. But if it makes you feel better to look like a moron, go ahead and wear the mask. But in this case, us wearing a mask, and I don't mean get a scary, crazy one with a big skull on the front of it and walk around looking like you're about to hold up a bank or something. But any kind of mask, when you're walking around in public with that mask on, you know what it's going to do? It's going to remind everyone around you that something serious is going on. And it may make you think and go, you know what? I'm going to use the bathroom and then I'm going to wash my hands. That's why. And that's the one reason I believe the government does not want us to wear masks. Is because if we all start wearing masks, everyone's going to go, see, there's a big deal, there's a big deal. We're not going to vote for those politicians because they didn't save us and all these other things. And that's why they don't want us to wear masks. They're not stopping you from buying hand sanitizer, baby wipes, Tylenol, Robitussin. They're not telling you don't stock up on food. The only product they're asking you not to wear, and they're giving you this bullshit reason that healthcare professionals need them, is the mask. Because it's the one that's right there in your face and reminds you that this is happening. And in my opinion, I think it should remind us it's happening, because I know for sure when I'm walking around and I see a bunch of people wearing masks, I'm going to go wash my hands. Yeah, you and I were talking about that on Twitter earlier, Shin, about you working in the food industry and proper hand washing and all that stuff. People don't care. Last night I was at the gas station and the cashier was going to the bathroom. I was washing my hands. She got out and didn't wash her hands and went right. See? And you didn't even have to stand around in the bathroom like some weird guy like I talk about. But I go to a lot of places and just watch people. Sometimes I'll sit down in a department store. I used to go to the airport a lot just to watch people. I'd make a Saturday night out of it. But you're absolutely right. I was at a Wawa, which is, for those of you in outside of the United States, it's a convenience store here that sells food, and they have a section where they sell sandwiches and soups and things. And the hairnet was on, and the gloves were on, and everything. They even had a hairnet over the goatee, and they're making the food and all. And the dude went like this with his gloved hand 3 times to wipe sweat and went right back to making the food. And then at one point, the lunch meat comes with wax paper on it. He pulled the wax paper off and put it down. Well, it fell off of the little counter he was working on. So he's got his hand up here and he reached down to grab that thing and pick it up and put it on the floor, put it in the garbage, and then he went back to making the sandwich. I'm not one of those people that says, oh, you have to wear gloves and you have to wear face masks and you have to wear a body condom and you have to do all these things to make my sandwich. I go to the mom and pop places with the roaches in the back because they cook the best food. And I'm one of those people that says, I don't care about germs. I want my immune system to be strong. I don't use wet wipes on, ring carts. I don't do all that crap. And if you do, that's wonderful for you. That is a personal choice. Me, I would rather have my immune system strong. However, in this case, the fact that these people are not paying attention because they just had an itch real quick and go back, that just means that the gloves that they're wearing is a complete waste of time. And that's the problem. That's why I am a proponent for masks. I want everyone to have their face covered during this crisis, because those people that don't cover their mouth, when I sneeze, this is what I do. I don't care where I'm at. I could be lying in the store, I could be walking through a store, I could be sitting right here at my desk and not anybody around, and I still pick up my shirt and sneeze into my shirt. I cough into my shirt. I have been known, if I get one, I change my shirt a lot. I have been known, if one catches me off guard too quick, that as fast as I can, I'll go like this and do it into my elbow. Because I don't like to spread germs. It's just the way I've always been. But most people don't even bother to try. And kids never try. How many times are you standing around and you hear a mom go, cover your mouth? And those of you with kids, you say it to them all the time because that's how we teach them to cover their mouth. That's why I'm a proponent for masks. I'm sick to my stomach thinking, what the heck did she just do? I can't even. I will ask them to wash their hands and remake my food. Yeah, listen, I travel the world. Always have. I like to go to the mom and pop places because they have the best food. And believe me, I've gotten, you see, a place I was at a few days ago was just shut down by the health department because they found roaches in the back. I've worked in restaurants. Stuff happens. I've never been that one that worried about every little thing, because when we were kids, anybody that's my age in their middle 40s, when we were kids, people didn't wear gloves. People didn't wear hair nets. You got hairs in your food. You would occasionally find a bug in your drink. Shit happens. It didn't kill us. It's not going to kill you. But they've trained people to think that everything has to be so protected and blah, 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 blah. And if that's the way you are, that's perfectly fine. Me, I'd be the one behind you in line when you ask them to wash their hands and remake your food. I'd be like, can I get that sandwich if you're just going to throw it away? I mean, because that's how I've always been. I don't get sick very often, except for the poisoning. I don't think I've had the flu in years. I don't get colds. I've just always equated it to one thing or another. And the fact that scientists change their mind every time you turn around, now apparently it's healthy to put butter in your coffee and bacon on your food, and for the last 30 years it's been the most unhealthy thing you could do. So I don't tend to listen to those things. Also, I do surveys online, and you have to understand that I'm one of those people that they're talking about. Well, we surveyed, America, and this is the response we're getting. Do you know how many times I will get the same survey again 5 minutes after I just took it, and I know if I don't change my answers, they'll kick me off and I won't get paid for it? So I answer the same survey 10 times in 10 different ways. You can't go by surveys. You can't go by this or that. You have to go by what's right for you. And if what's right for you is gloves and protection and all those things, believe me, I'm on your side. More power to you. It's just never been the way I've been. So let me just make sure I'm here. Travel to my stomach, right, and your body. Yes, I shower on the regular. Hygiene is important, which is another reason I like being here rather than being at a campground. Or I lived at a Walmart parking lot for a month back in October, and y'all didn't even know it. I mean, you saw me, but it didn't occur to anybody that I was living in a Walmart. So yeah, I shower sometimes twice a day, because I always shower twice a day when I have my own place. I shower in the morning and I shower in the evening. I change my clothes twice a day. Life is a little different at the moment, but it'll get back to normal. See you, Pam. Oh, you better not have been on this whole time. You're gonna get in trouble. Let's see what entailed. I bet those things. Wait, what? Facing as I donate plasma and lowers my immune system. Yeah, donating plasma does lower your immune system, but only for 24 or 36 hours, because plasma is actually your white blood cells, and when they remove those from your blood doesn't have the white blood cells it needs for, if you get a cut, to clot, to stop the bleeding. White blood cells is what fights infections, things like that. But your body, as long as you're in good, healthy condition, your body will replace those white blood cells within 24 to 36 hours. So, yeah, as soon as you donate plasma, you're kind of more vulnerable, I guess, to being sick. But it's very short-lived. Oh yeah, you didn't see that? We've been told our whole life that butter's bad for you. It's high in fat, high in cholesterol, and it clogs arteries. And now the fad that's going around is business people are actually putting pats of butter, little chunks of butter, in their coffee, because butter's good for you. Scientists now say butter's good for you. And bacon wrapped things are good for bacon is good for you. And when we know they're not, fat clogs arteries and gives you heart attacks. I've had 2 heart attacks. It's the only thing I've ever dealt with. I've had 2 heart attacks because I have clogged pipes, and that's from eating bad food. But yeah, check that out. If you don't know about that, go to YouTube and look up butter in coffee and watch all the videos of people putting big chunks of butter in their coffee, and listen to what the scientists have to say about it, and watch the news. This was all over the news for like a month. And I would say it was probably about a year ago when all that started. So yeah, check that out. The virus can grow on the mask as well. You can contaminate yourself taking them off if you're not doing it right. Yes, and like I said, gas mask. And by the way, thanks for stopping in. You're always welcome. I love it. Masks do not protect you from getting sick. That's not what we're talking about. In my opinion, everybody's going to get sick. This thing is running rampant. It's in 64 countries now. It's highly contagious, and we have zero way to fight it. Highly contagious, no way to fight. The mask will stop you from sneezing and coughing it out into the air and letting it drop. If you're standing in front of a shelf with bags of chips on it, or you open up the fridge to get a soda out and you sneeze, you just sneezed on 12 other people's things. Accidentally, nothing you can do about it. If you were wearing a mask, the sputum wouldn't come out of your mouth. And like I said before, look on YouTube whenever you leave here and put slow motion sneeze, slow motion cough, and watch the amount of sputum that actually comes out of your mouth when you sneeze or you cough. That's the only thing masks are good for, spreading it to others. And if we all stopped worrying about whether we were going to get it and worried about whether we were going to give it and cover our mouth with anything, you don't have to have a 95 mask, get a bandana. Use a t-shirt. I don't care what you do. You're that sputum, it's catching in your own mask, it's catching in your own shirt, and at least that way you're not spreading it across the 12 cans of soda on the shelf when you're reaching for a soda, or you're reaching for a bag of chips, or you're standing in line and you sneeze and half of it comes out on the person standing behind you or next to you, or their kids running around and not they're standing right beside you for some point. That's the only reason I say masks. They're not going to make you worse, they're just not going to stop you from getting it. It's a very small window of vulnerability. I still worry about it. I agree with you, and I understand, and that's why whenever I know Angie, she gives plasma. I have given plasma, and believe me, if I don't get my lawn equipment in the next 3 weeks, I will be giving plasma twice a week to pay for my lawn equipment. But I always say, to those that donate plasma, you are saving lives. To those that donate blood, which is a different situation, it's worth the risk. To me, I may start, if this gets worse in my country and they were to call for blood donors or plasma donors, I'd be doing it even if it was for free. Because you're actually giving of yourself selflessly. So it's up to you to weigh the vulnerability that you face on it. For a disease that's only going to kill 2 out of every 100, and mostly elderly people, then I'm gonna be out there giving it, and I give thanks and kudos to everyone like you that does donate plasma and blood. Now those that donate semen, nah, I don't want to hear about it. Go on about your business. And those that practice donating semen before they get to the house, I don't want to know about that either. Rob's home from work now. Hey Rob, what's going on, buddy? It's oh, you got home in a decent hour. It's only 6:30 over there. Good for you. Have a couple of beers and relax, buddy. Quick question about surveys. I've tried doing one, never got one. I paid for only one time, but don't get them. I use there are several websites you can go through. I got all of my information from Oh Bother on Twitter, and she lives over in Europe and uses the surveys to help with her Disney World fund, because they take a trip every year. So whenever she gets a chance, she does a survey or two. There's an unlimited amount, and she just puts that in the piggy bank for her trip, her Disney World trips. I use branded surveys, and if you need help figuring it out, I'm happy to talk to you on Twitter and walk you through the process to get started. But as you can see, you just go through and pick whatever survey you want to do. They pay different amounts. This one pays 5 cents for 15 minutes. They're usually lying. 15-minute survey is usually 30 minutes. This one says 119 points or 119 cents for 15 minutes. That's usually if you are the CEO of a company or a stock trader. But as you do them longer, it remembers all of your preferences, and it starts to zone in on the ones that you'll always get accepted for and ones that pay better. Right now, currently, this morning, I made, I think, $1.75. Yeah. See on the top there, it says 176 points. That every point is a penny. So this morning, I made $1.75. You can't cash out until you make at least 1,000 points, which is $10, and then you can send it to your PayPal. You can get gift certificates from every major store, from Walmart, Lowe's. You can get them from anywhere. So if you're interested in doing surveys, I can walk you through the process. I've been doing surveys for 6 or 7 months. It's what keeps me in ramen noodles. Uh, Not gonna lie, you make on average 60 cents an hour. But if you got time and you have nothing else to do, if I sit here for 10 hours and make $6, it's $6 I didn't have yesterday, and I have no other way to make money at the moment. So I've tried several other sites, and none of them pay as well as Branded does. And I had trouble getting paid one time. I cashed out $10, and it didn't come. And like 2 days later, I sent them an email, and they went, "Oh, you misspelled your email. We're sorry. We'll fix the problem." And within 15 minutes, they'd fix the problem. I've gotten Walmart gift certificates. They don't send you a card. They actually just email you a barcode for the amount. So you just show your smartphone at the store. Lowe's, Home Depot. You can get restaurants, Applebee's, Outback Steakhouse. You can get anything you want. There's literally hundreds of places that you can get, or they'll send the money straight to your PayPal account. Um, so if you want some help with that, I'm more than happy to help you. I tell everybody, if you can make a few extra bucks doing something in your spare time, you should do it, because you never know when you're going to need it. Never heard about that, but it sounds really gross. Yeah, I also said that same thing about eggs. They were good for you, then they were bad for you. They change it. See, they always do independent studies. They hire somebody to do studies, or they do surveys like this. You know how many food products I get surveys for? Well, what do you think about this wireless company? Or how do you feel about McDonald's? Or where do you shop? And what do you feel about this store? And like I said, I end up, if I spend 8 or 10 hours a day doing surveys while I'm twittering and everything else, I'll get the same survey 6 or 8 times. And if I answer it the same exact way, it'll say we've reached our quota, or it'll say you've already taken the survey. So I have to literally change my answers all the time. They're not getting real data out of that. If I give all my real proper answers the first time, and then I get the same survey and go, well, you know what? If I need that 75 cents, I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to give different answers this time. They're not getting valid information. So that's why I don't trust all that crap. Even the political surveys. You know how many political surveys I do a day? How do you feel about President Trump? And are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? How do you feel our country's doing in the last 12 months? How do you feel to be in the next 12 months? What do you think about this? I do 6 or 8 of those a day. And half the time I have to say that I'm Republican, and half the time I have to say that I'm on the left and I'm on the right, and I like the Democrats. And I just change up the answers all the time, so I keep getting paid for the surveys. And then you see that shit on CNN and it says, well, out of all the Americans polled, 52% of them are behind Donald Trump. Bullshit, I'm 6% of them, and so is everybody else that's doing these surveys, because we just keep giving bullshit answers so we get paid for them. I'm not going to stop donating plasma. Good for you, brother. Don't ever stop donating plasma. It saves lives. Superheroes and comic books are all wonderful, and people that are out there firefighting and doctors and all that, that saves lives. But donating blood and plasma literally saves lives, just like anything else that saves lives, because people need it. People die without it, so keep doing it. Swag Bucks is enough. I haven't tried Swag Bucks yet. I think Oh Bother told me about it. Oh Bother is a friend of mine on Twitter, and she actually did a video on it. The top 6 or top 10 survey sites, how they work, what her favorite was, and I literally just went through her video and checked them all out, and I've never had a problem with Branded. And like I said, I can get cash for that. Most of the survey places do not pay as well as Branded, so you might have to do more surveys to make the same dollar. But I haven't tried Swag Bucks. I pretty much found this out of like 5 that I tried was my favorite, paid the best, had the best service. I could do it from any device, laptop, computer, cell phone, whatever the case may be, and they pay you immediately. The money's transferred when it's supposed to be. The gift cards that they email you, the barcode gift cards, they work. You just show it, show your phone, and they scan the phone with the scanner, and everything works. So pretty much when I found what worked, I stick with it. But yeah, you could try Swag Bucks. Ruben, welcome from Mexico City. Glad to have you, buddy. If you're still here, I appreciate you coming by. How are things in Mexico, south of the border? Do you have to give personal information? No, 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 no. You don't have to give any personal information. Um, it asks you for your name. I can't think of anything else that they have. I may have an address and a phone number on file, but I have internet phones, so I didn't actually put my cell phone. But at best, you may have to give a name and a phone number, and then as far as payouts are concerned, it asks you what your preference is. If you just prefer to get a gift card, it asks you what your email address is, and they'll just email you the gift card with the barcode in it. And as far as PayPal, it'll ask you for your PayPal link if you have a PayPal account, which normally is just your email account. That's the most personal information I have to get. Now, when you do fill out surveys, it asks you survey questions. What state do you live in? What's your zip code? Male or female? What's your age? What is the approximate amount of money that you make? And it goes like 0 to 10,000, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. You put anything you feel right, or there's even a thing that says I prefer not to answer. A lot of them ask if I'm gay or, heterosexual or whatever the case may be, and you don't have to answer those. But as far as personal information, you don't have to give any banking information. You don't even have to give your address. At best, it's your name, your phone number, and your PayPal email, and your regular email. That's it. See you later, y'all. Getting busy was with Outlook, I think. Right on. I've been on here for a lot longer than I expected to be anyway, so I'm gonna pop off. We've had a few people. I think we were up to 11 at one point, but it's definitely. I'm gonna give it a shot going around this time again a few times a week, interspersed with later in the afternoon like normal. I usually go at 6 o'clock instead of 12:30. I'm going to be trying different times, but I am going to try and get back to doing live streams every single day or pretty close to it. And especially now with what's going on, so that we can talk about anything going on with the coronavirus, on top of everything else that we do. And just to be able to check in and make sure you guys are okay. A lot of you know that may not even be here at the moment. A lot of you know that I check in with you on Twitter and send you a private message if I haven't heard from you in a week or so, just to make sure everything's okay. That is the reason. That's one of the reasons that I've been saying good morning every morning. And I say how many, will I get 50 responses today or whatever? Because when I do that, and y'all tell me good morning, I know you're still okay. You're still alive and kicking. It's kind of like taking roll call when you go to school. So I've been doing that. And the other thing is, the reason I say hi is because when I say hi in the morning, all those people, and I think so far the most I've gotten was like 69 people said hi back. Those are the people that I'm using to make my list for shout outs. I like to shout out active accounts. There are many people that I've been shouting out for months that I never hear from anymore. So I'm not doing that. So when I post my daily hi, how you doing, or good morning, have a great day, those of you that respond and even just say hi or good morning or have a good one, you're the ones. I'm compiling my list of all the people that I'm going to be shouting out. So for right now, it's just a way for me to check in with everybody and make sure nobody got sick, you don't have anything going on. Like I know Angie's husband's in the hospital. It's just a way for me to make sure everybody's still alive and kicking and breathing and doesn't have the virus. So if you have any questions about what kind of supplies that you might want to keep in your house, all of the governments of the world are now saying get at least 2 weeks worth of supplies. things that you may not think of because you don't live in an area where storms come. We've been doing this for 30 years, some of us our whole life. We know what to get, how to replace products with other products if something's not available. So if you have any questions, hit me on Twitter. I'm more than happy to spend time with you and get everybody what the information that they need. In the meantime, I will be back live again tomorrow. Been great chatting again. Thanks. I am feeling better, Sarah. I did prefer not to answer all of those. I did not get paid for it. It depends on what site you were in. Like I said, Bev, if you want to hit me on Twitter, I'll walk you through everything, explain it all. But it's not about whether you answered those questions or not. With Branded Survey, they either ask you to sign in through Facebook so that they have all of your stuff. They know how old you are. They know if you're gay, if you're white, all those things. You can set up a profile so that you don't have to go through that every time. I didn't set up the profile, so literally every survey that comes up asks me how old I am, how much I make, what state I live in, what my zip code is, if I'm of Hispanic descent, those kinds of things. And the reason that each company does that is because they want to know what surveys you qualify for. If you keep saying I prefer not to answer, you won't qualify for any surveys and you just won't get anywhere. So even if you, I'm going to say this, even if you lie, even if you say I'm a 42-year-old man and I make $112,000 a month or a week in my paycheck and I'm Spanish and I'm gay, it doesn't matter what you answer. Just pick some answers and stick with those answers each time. That way you're not giving your personal information, but they can build a profile and choose which surveys they can give you. And it's dumb stuff. It's like what fast food places do you go to? And it'll give you a list of Hardee's and McDonald's and Taco Bell and all that. And you just pick all the ones you eat, and then they'll ask you a question. You'll find out, well, this survey was about Taco Bell. And they'll ask you about stuff. It's all simple, easy stuff. So you can always decide what answer you want to give. They're never going to knock on your door and say, 3 weeks ago you did a survey for McDonald's and you said you were a 42-year-old Hispanic male living in Arizona, and when in actuality you're not, we want our 42 cents back. It's not like that. So you can just pick a set of answers that you're going to give every single time and do the surveys that come along. They have entertainment surveys. I did one this morning on Netflix. I did a government survey. I did a hospital survey. I can't even think of them all. What's your favorite movie type at the movie theater? Science fiction, that kind of stuff. I did who was my mobile carrier? Verizon, Metro, PCS, Boost, whatever. So it's not like that information really matters. It just matters for classification for the surveys. So you can give them any information you want as long as you stick with the same answers every time. Won't see you tomorrow working, then off to watch my football team. Right on. Well, I hope they win. And to the rest of you, I will say I'll see you soon.